Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. This podcast is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Now more than ever, our online reliance has been rapidly increasing. We stream our favourite shows, we keep in touch with our loved ones, we even watch podcasts like The Brew. And we like to think our information is safe, but as our online footprint increases, so does our need for proper security. Yeah? Surfshark is a VPN service that protects your information by encrypting all the data that you send through the internet, keeping anyone unwanted from seeing it. Another great reason to use a VPN is because content from different streaming services don't want you to watch everything in every different country. It's a disgrace. There's certain shows for America, certain shows for Canada, certain shows for Mexico, Venezuela, UK, Netherlands. How about you have access to all of them and get access to everything, whether that's Netflix, Amazon Prime, or even football highlights on Twitter. And with Surfshark, you can solve that problem by simply changing your location. Also, if you do go on abroad on holiday and you're in Tenerife and you're in Faliraki, you still want to watch BBC iPlayer, don't you? You still want to watch Premier League football. Change your location back to the UK while you're gone to get access to all of your home comforts. And currently, Surfshark are bringing you genuinely one of the most ridiculously good deals I've ever heard. Use the link in the description and use code Paddock, as you can see on the screen there, code Paddock. You will get, wait for this, 85% off, which means for something like a couple of quid a month, you can be fully protected. Plus, you get 3 months for free, and Surfshark also offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. So use the link in the description, promo code Paddock, as you can see there, for, again, let me just listen to this, 85% off, 3 months for free, and a 30-day money-back guarantee.
With the rest of them. Some of them have. Some of them haven't, I don't know, because it's difficult to know what's been announced and what we just know.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But them lot are here now.
Oh, Ayo. How's it going?
Right, so what has been announced?
Dortmund.
Which is in?
Las Vegas.
Yes.
Yes. And
what else has been announced?
This is where it gets confusing. I don't know.
Is it Wrexham, San Diego, where the kids are playing?
Wrexham, San Diego, thank you. Wrexham.
Why are the kids playing? Is it because it's Wrexham and they're a probable League Two? Have they won the league yet?
I don't know what's going on with
They're about
Wrexham.
100 points, aren't they?
Tied with Notts County.
Tied.
Right. What's the trivia about Notts County that everyone always says?
That's where Juventus got their kit from.
You know, he never lets me down, this boy. Yes, that's true. When I heard that, I thought that can't be true, but it is.
100 and 103 points. How many games left? Surely that's it, right? 42. No, it'll only be
44 games.
Another couple of games left.
44 games.
46 it'll be.
What? Eh?
Yeah,
is it?
It'll
Right,
be
sorry.
46 games.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you go back up, producer Ethan. I mean, you're gutted if you're woking, aren't you? Hey.
We've had a really good season. We're only nearly 30 points off the top. Fucking hell.
Notts County and Wrexham absolutely smash-a-rooney in that one.
Look at that. You've got Altrincham in there now. You've got
Altrincham?
Oldham in there. York in there.
Whoa. What league's this? Oh, right.
National League,
Right, I was
sorry.
about to
Chesterfield,
say.
obviously. Scroll down. Who's at the bottom? FC Halifax. Scunthorpe.
Yeovil. They've fallen, haven't they?
Scunthorpe. I don't know how many get relegated out of National
York.
League, but Scunthorpe being potentially like Southern Prem.
Mate, do you know what?
It won't be Southern Prem, will it? Be National League North.
Do you know what really is
Wild.
amazing, though? Is that look at who's in 14th.
Oldham Athletic.
It's mad, that, isn't it?
Original Premier League team.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? FA Cup
And
semi-finalists.
let's be honest, bottom half of the table.
Yeah.
And not exactly on good form either. Like, there's a world where, and it's not even a crazy one, where Paddock could be playing Oldham in a few years.
No, it's not crazy.
That's not mental.
That's a team, like you're saying, founding members of the Premier League, FA Cup semi-finalists, League Cup finalists, I think, as well, during our lifetime.
Well, put it this way. 10 years ago, Salford were where I'm aiming to take Paddock into pretty soon in the Northwest Counties.
Oh, only one automatic spot as well.
Oh, it's chaos.
Chaos.
They might as well call it League 3 because it really is.
Yeah.
So Salford were taken over in what's the Northwest Counties. That's step 6. We're currently in a step 7 league, so we're trying to get to where that was. And now they're above Oldham.
That's mental, that, isn't it? That is mad. Salford's like, so many clubs have gone through like a rise quickly, haven't they? But it's when you hit that sort of
National League.
National League.
The reason I say it should be called League 3 is because I don't think there's a team in there that isn't a professional team.
Yeah.
But also there's a bit of a stink recently as well where the PFA just washed their hands of it and said, oh, it's not a professional league because the designation is, Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2 are the professional leagues.
Right.
Despite the fact that there's probably every single player in the National League is a professional footballer.
Right.
And probably 80% of them used to be PFA members as well. They won't look at what's going on in the National League. So there's a ruling coming now which says if you're injured for 12 weeks in the National League or 6 weeks in National League North-South, that your club can just sack you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw a little bit about this in the press. Yeah, because that's obviously ridiculously harsh.
Yeah, Macclesfield, to Bobby Savage's credit, has come out and said, look, if you get injured playing for us, we will honour your contracts. And obviously you can see it from both angles here because you go, okay, well, wages is the biggest thing for clubs. It's the biggest burden. But if a player gets injured playing for or training for your club, you can't just get rid of his livelihood.
No.
This isn't a Premier League where they'll be fine.
No.
Some of these lads are on bang average wages.
Yeah.
Just a full-time wage to be a footballer with no safety net, with nothing.
That's
usually on a 1-year contract. Very usually. There are seldom 2 or 3 year contracts. They are rocking horse shit. It's a year long. Like, you'll see it to the end of this season and we'll see how good you are before we think about giving you another one.
It's tough, man. It's a tough game, innit? Do you know what I mean?
And
like
for you
say,
to just go, like, let's say you fucking blow a cruciate ligament. And your club goes, yeah, nice one. In a bit.
Yeah, mate.
And that's you potentially now not working for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
And then you don't know when you're going to get another job. It's not the same as working in an office. Where you go, well, if I was on the sick from my data entry job.
Yeah.
Okay, but did you get injured at your data entry job?
No.
Right. And could you do your data entry job after being off sick for a couple of weeks, unless it's like majorly debilitating what you've done?
Yeah.
Being an athlete, professional athlete, you've obviously got to get back to professional athlete level status to be able to play it. Like, you can't just like, all right, I had a few days off and I'm fine now. It's bullshit.
It's sad, innit? Because I always think about it. When you think about the younger players that had that injury, me and you were chatting about it earlier, like, the Michael Appletons of the Michael Appletons of this world. Do you know what I mean? He was mint money. Ben Thornley, I know he had a career, but he was mustard when he was a kid and he had that injury. An
injury now, that's probably a 4-month out.
Yeah, Nicky Markham, wasn't it? Broke his playing for Blackburn, playing against Blackburn reserves. I remember it.
For the FA Cup semi-final, 1994.
Good lad, knowledge. Couple of super chats. Fun Case says thoughts on Ten Hag maybe putting Eriksen straight in the team. Think it's very possible he would, but would be rusty and it could be detrimental. I think Eriksen's a machine,
I think he'd be okay if he did. Honestly, because he's not exactly rely on physical attributes, does he?
No, and he's so good, Eriksen. He's just a marvel of modern. I won't say medicine, but it's not even. It's just him. He's just amazing. Fergal McClement says Everton games have pivotal moments for United seasons recently. Remember the draw when Ollie was on the great run in title race? The year we finished second, and last time CR7 not starting in the fallout. Yeah, I was chatting on preview about this. That 1-1 last season against Everton when Martial scored and Ronnie was dropped. That felt seismic, that to me.
You reckon?
Yeah, because it was like there was all that fallout, weren't there, from Ronnie not starting. There was that little clip of Fergie saying, "You start your best players," which everyone used against Ollie.
Was it talking to Khabib when he was
it was so crazy, and it just felt like there was something. I don't know, man. I got the impression that was my first real inkling that this isn't going to have an happy ending with Ollie. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously the worst was yet to come.
Wasn't an happy ending for Ollie or Ollie.
No.
Or Ronnie.
Ronnie, no. At least Ronnie had that season where he scored a load of goals, but then it all just went wrong. Yeah, Everton's a weird one. The 4-4 still burns my head out.
Can you imagine what Fergie did? Because we've not really heard the shakes of that, because that was where we properly bollocksed up the league.
Yeah.
And players sometimes allude to an hairdresser, don't they? But I reckon there's been some instances where you've got a 2-goal lead at home.
Well, your mate was that. Ask him.
Yeah, okay.
And also, ask him why Johnny Evans left his man to go and head the ball to basically beat Rio and knock him out of the way of Fellaini. I'll never get that one. And I like Johnny Evans, but what was he doing? Yeah, that was horrible. The 3-3 though, the bad thing about the 3-3, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who used to play football, is probably fit tomorrow because it's United. That last-minute winner or equaliser, that was the end of that title run, wasn't it? That little sort of tickle of a title race. Because what annoys me is you have a little tickle, don't you? Where you go, people like me and you'll go, yeah, you know. And then when it fizzles out, everyone goes, you thought you were going to win the league, didn't you?
No.
And
we've had that this year.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure on record saying no.
No, literally do a video going, we're not going to win the league. And then we'll draw against Palace and lose at Arsenal. People go, you thought you were going to win it, didn't you?
Do you know what it is? It's the likes of Talk Sport and that. United's title race, and you're like...
Title race? I don't know if you were watching the Premier League, but we started with 2 defeats. Then we went to the Etihad. Then we went to Villa.
Got right dunked on.
Yeah. It's not like we ever went on a run where you go, well, that's a title run, that. We never did it. We had a good little bit of a spell just after the World Cup or whatever, but there was never a title race on the cards for Manchester United. But what I did like was there was enough to say, if we get a few signings in under this manager, there can be a title race. Because I do love Erik ten Hag. And I do think like some of the nonsense you've seen recently is just a bit like you say, it's the whole Talk Sport and people looking for just nonsense to kick off about.
Some people just feel the need to create negativity and spark shit up, but you don't need to. Like, the football itself is interesting enough to me.
Yeah.
To just cover the football. You don't need to extrapolate it into X-temps of like the way people do. No,
I agree with you. I think so obviously it's all about selling papers or clicking links and all that other stuff.
On a genuine serious note, who the fuck is buying newspapers nowadays?
Well, that is a good point.
Walk into a shop,
yeah,
and go in, I'll take all this information from yesterday,
yeah,
in this paper format.
How long do you reckon it is before they just get rid of embargoes? They just go.
I don't know, because I feel like that. Obviously, for those that don't know, they have embargo for the papers.
We've seen the press
not kill them.
Yeah, we've seen a press conference today where ten Hag said whatever he said, and then at 10:30 tonight you'll get the second part, which is the embargo part, and
which is funny because at 10:30 tonight still ain't tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the papers will come out in the morning with that bit. So if you've gone to bed at 10 o'clock. Then you go and get your paper in the morning and you see
what we all saw 12 hours ago.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because online is just killing it, innit? Because anyone just goes, and if you're really keen to know, you just go on your phone at 10 and see what's been said anyway. Yeah. I think that's the whole thing.
And there is rarely anything worth staying up till 10 for. No. If you're someone who goes.
Do you know what used to annoy me though? Now they've annoyed me now. That doesn't make any sense. No, what used to annoy me is at United you'd have it was almost like quick fire for the pre-embargo bit. So you'd get James Cooper, our mate, he'd get his questions, obviously. Maybe Bill Rice would get one from the Beeb, or Simon Stone, whoever was covering that. Don McGuinness from TalkSport, who was actually a journalist, I don't know what he was doing there. And then they'd go over to, that was it. That was your lot. The only time I'd ever get a question is one of them weren't there. And then they go over to the embargo bit, and then you get, your Dave McDonald's, your James Duckers, all them.
Does Sunday still get a section?
Yeah, I think so. Because
they like to try and pretend that they're a bit more highbrow and do a bit more in-depth.
I remember one of them was, Louis van Gaal said that he'd watched the FA Cup final as a kid, and one of them spent about 15 minutes trying to work out which FA Cup final it was. Do you know what I mean? And he could see he didn't care. Do you know what I mean? And he was like, I don't know, I can't remember who was playing. And he was like, it could have been the one in 1962. What, do you know what I mean? Just waffling on for ages trying to work out. And then even
what relevance is it?
Yeah. After it finished, he was stood at his desk, still bending his hair. I thought, bro, it's not that deep. He's not going to give you an exclusive interview because you've worked out which cup final.
Ask him what he gets at Wings.
I miss Van Gaal,
Who was I talking to?
I did not his football because it was horrible, but as a personality, he was funny.
I was talking about someone's press conference. It might have been with Ash the other day. We was talking about absolute box office press conferences.
Yeah.
Because press conferences are shit.
They are. Do you know what? They are. Because you get there, you've done them as well. You get there and it's like, if you don't, you usually don't get a question. If you do, it's very sort of sanitised. Your chances of getting a follow-up question are almost, non-existent. City tends to be actually better because you get a mic in because they're just desperate for some publicity.
United are getting better in terms of their openness to non-newspaper media. But yeah, there's still this. They're dry. You know what I mean? Like, I don't tune in for Ten Hag's press conferences. I don't care.
The thing is, right, we've been invited to them. Yeah. So Other than the Premier League one, because it's a different sort of, you need this certain...
It's data co, innit?
Data co, and we ain't got that.
Honestly, data co is like trying to get in the SAS.
Yeah, well, to be fair, you've probably got a better chance of getting in the SAS than I have of getting my data co card back. So, yeah, you're right. So, like, the club are all right with us, actually. They're like, for once, they don't mind the fact we slag off the owners all the time. So we get into stuff like the Europa League or the League Cup. But I was like, we go there, we're not getting a question. And it's like, yeah, it's great that we're in there, and I'm not knocking it. But, you know, to the viewers, and obviously we care about what you guys think, is it that important?
We're not going to deliver you anything you ain't getting in 55 other outlets.
Yeah.
So there's no value.
Yeah, if we were going there and we were going, so right, you or Macca or me, whoever goes.
Or every press conference, because sometimes there's mix zones, which is related to them. So sometimes, like, you'll see, like, the likes of your Ollie Kay, Henry Winters, and people like that, they will get relationships with players because they're constantly in that mix zone. So outside of where the press conference room is, there's a little barriered off bit where the players have to come and walk through. Yeah. Journalists stand on one side, players have to, it's like a U shape in it. Yeah. Players will stand on the other side. And they can just stand there and hope a player comes by. Because they have pretty existing relationships, some of them, especially the likes of Henry Winter, might drop a text in the day. Oh, can you come and see me in the mix zone later if you get a chance? Yeah. And he's probably got a pretty good hit rate of getting...
Yeah, because he works with some players, doesn't he? I think he's done stuff with Marcus on like his media training and stuff. Yeah. He's written books with certain players, or he's co-written, or just had a look over them for him. So you're right, he's spot on, because it's maybe when we was on pre-season last year. We was in the mix zone, I think it was me and producer Callum, and Fred comes along, and I'm stood next to Mitten, Andy Mitten. And Fred comes over to Mitten, and like the guy, Andrew, took him over, and I said to the guy, Andrew, said, can I have a chat with him? He said, you can try. But the problem was, Andy Mitten speaks Portuguese.
Of course he does.
Even though he's from Ermsted. Fred speaks Portuguese.
How many people born in Ermsted reckon can speak Portuguese?
One, Andy Mitten. Because he's like Mr. Professional. Learning Portuguese will help me. I think there's other reasons, but it does help him. He did the Casemiro interview, didn't he, for United? So he speaks to Fred in Portuguese. Long interview, great stuff. I can't obviously speak Portuguese. Fred can't speak any English, so I just shook his hand and said, well done, and he gave me a high five sort of thing. But yeah, it's very difficult. I think when we were on pre-season, we had Delo came over to us, because I think there was a bit of a thing there.
I know he follows us.
Yeah. Zidane Iqbal came over to us, because I think him and Macca have a sort of, a relationship there. And I think maybe Charlie Savage, I forget. But the younger ones are a bit more like, oh, they know us, they know who we are. But you've got a sort of a thing as well, which we've all stuck to, is you back the youngsters. It's like a rule. Do you know what I mean? Once you're in the first team, yeah, if they think we're playing badly or whatever, criticise them, but younger players, we tend to get behind him. So there's a lot of young players that have, a lot of time for us, but some of the older ones, not happening. And also, it's a bit of a meat market there.
It's funny, because there's obviously some of the players do watch the channel and recognise us. Juan Mata being a big one. Yeah. Like Juan Mata's reaction to seeing us getting in the lift when we was in Singapore was fucking godly.
I love that.
And then obviously some of the local ones, like Jesse obviously watched it, Marcus watches it. So you know that there's players who watch it. The likes of Casemiro and that, not a fucking clue.
No. To be fair, that can sort of go in your favour sometimes. Because if you're stood there with a big red mic, he might just think that's, Sky or whatever, because he don't know. He might just come over. So we'll find out when we're on pre-season. But yeah, a lot of them are just like, they don't have to do it. They don't want to do it. I think the thing with Fred and Mitten was obviously pre-arranged. The mix zone, it's such a hit and miss thing. And part of me is like, because I've done a few of them and you think, why
that's where you're going to get any of your gold or any of your original quotes that maybe everybody else in this room didn't get.
Yeah.
But they're a rarity to get.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely zero guarantee that even if you did get into a press conference that you would get mix zone, or that you would get a player even if you got mix zone.
Yeah.
So it's such a Hail Mary that it's almost not worth the effort.
No.
It's easier to have a relationship with the players without having that.
Yeah.
And still finding a little bit about
you're right,
what's going on.
Because, you mentioned Jesse. We did a long interview with Jesse back in full-time Devils days in a chippy in Altrincham because of a relationship, which was so bizarre, because he said he wanted to do it in this chippy in Altrincham. I went down to the chippy a week before to arrange it with the owner or the manager, and I said, can we interview Jesse Lingard here? And she said, oh yeah. She said, I'm a big United fan. She said, yeah, I've got one upstairs, I'll coordinate it off for you. And she went, why?
He wants to do it downstairs.
No, she went, why does he want to do it here? Or why do you want to do it here? And I said, well, he wants to do it here because he wants to do it in his local chippy. And she said, I've worked here for 10 years. I've never seen him here once.
He's not getting out of the car, is he?
I was like, right, okay, whatever. What can we do? It was really good, the chippy chat. But yeah, we do have these relationships. You know a few players as well but we have to, again, though, we're not going to sort of do stuff if it's going to get them in trouble. And, you know, we played a game and you do the mix zone.
Zidane's been out to come and watch Paddock FC game.
Yeah, exactly.
But is he on camera? No.
Are you going to try and get a soundbite off him or take some photos and plaster everywhere? Because it's just going to end up causing him either, and that's not what you want. But saying that about pre-season and stuff, I think you can see like how the attitudes of the club have changed, because it weren't that long ago you was getting chucked out of training, weren't you?
We didn't get fully chucked out of training.
Not for the want of trying.
The Witch's Dead tried to chuck us out.
Okay. And then now...
But ding dong and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Fan channels have been invited into that. Do you know what I mean? And obviously we have as well. And it's that thing of, yeah, you want to bring content, you want to do that stuff, and you want to get involved. But then there's a part of you thinks, okay, you know, is this worth it? Is this part of it worth it? We don't have to do everything that we get invited to. And some of it, you have to make a sort of a decision on it. But it is better, and I think the club are getting better at it, because they've realised, with a channel like ours, the problem was, you know, if you go on any video we've done, and we mention the owners, we're saying some not very nice things about them, to say the least. And the result...
And that's never going to change.
No, and it's not.
But why would we ever have been treated differently to The Guardian?
Yeah, exactly. Has anyone ever, you know... Look, like you said, The Guardian's a good example there, because if you look at the amount of journalists from that newspaper who question the Glazers, who criticise the Glazers, Daniel Taylor's my favourite journalist from The Guardian. He's been, you know, he's never paid him any compliments, has he? Yeah, he still gets in a press conference when he wants to. Henry Winter, we've had Henry Winter on this channel.
I think when fan channels
slagging off the Glazers and rightly so.
The circulation of them, you know, was nothing.
No.
But now the circulation of fan-led media is probably fucking miles bigger and miles more impactful than, I would say, a significant percentage of traditional media.
I think that, and I think there's people there now who are working in the media team get it.
Do you know,
they get that.
A little bit off topic. Do you know who coined the phrase?
We don't have topics on that.
No, this is very, very, very off topic.
Go on.
Do you know who coined the phrase mainstream media?
Mainstream
Ethan, do you
media.
know? Is that why you're giggling?
I'm going to go with L. Ron Hubbard.
No, it's way darker than you think.
Stephen, why do you do these things to me? Is this going to take us down a route?
Joseph Goebbels.
Shut up.
Yeah. And
really?
Yeah, because he was trying to create... I'm not going to get the video demonetized by saying the words that they were, but he was like, if you listen to mainstream media, then you're going to get like a mainstream view, like a normal view.
Yeah.
He was like, no, you want to go to echo chambers. I think he said, if you want the truth, you have to go to the outlets that are going to provide the truth. Problematic.
Yes.
But it was him that coined the phrase mainstream media.
I never knew that. Do you know, just on that front, do you know who came up with the phrase naughty but nice? Naughty but nice. This is for cakes. He was talking about, he's advertising cakes. Remember the naughty but nice? Salman Rushdie.
What?
He used to work in advertising before he was an author, and he came up with that slogan. So there you go, you see. I mean, you know, we're both on dangerous ground here, so we should move on before one of us gets cancelled.
Go get a shovel.
We either go get cancelled or we just don't, you don't see us again. Right. I want to talk to you. I hate to bring it on to topic. Top 4. Stephen, you're a pragmatist. You're a realist. You don't get carried away. Are we getting top 4? Is it nailed on or what? Or are you concerned about the fact that if your mate doesn't score, we're not scoring?
It's definitely not nailed on. However, I'm quietly confident. I'm worried at the length of journey that we've got in the Europa League still in front of us. Yeah. And I'm worried that if Marcus gets a knock, the whole shit's going to come crumbling down. That's going to be a problem. And if Casemiro decides to tackle anyone again, we don't need that, do we?
Listen, I'm sorry to keep bombarding your question, but are you concerned that Casemiro's going to come back and go, I can't tackle anyone, I can't get another red card, I don't know what I'm going to do? Because
is it a 6-gamer if he gets another one? Does it like double and pass it on sort of thing?
I don't know, I'm worried about this. Because it's like a Russian doll, isn't it? It just keeps going. And if you notice, you remember, right, he got that red card when he backed up Anthony, didn't he? And then it all popped off again a week later, whenever it was, and he just stayed out of it. He obviously thought, I'm not getting involved. And my concern is, does he start thinking, I can't go to the ground now? I can't.
Nah, probably not. He's played the game long enough.
Yeah, there is that. Even he's one of the most experienced midfielders in the world. I just worry sometimes that might get in your head, because he was distraught when he got that red card against Southampton, wasn't he? He was absolutely beside himself. He went down to tunnel and was in tears. So that is a little bit of concern. The Marcus thing is just, it's giving me nightmares. Martial came on the other night, and for me, he still looks a bit leggy. Even though he only had a cameo.
He looks good. It's just, can we trust him to play?
Leggy's probably not the right word, you know what I mean. He's not match fit, is he?
Rusty,
yeah. Because Marcus, there's one point Marcus ran down the wing, and normally with Martial, he's right next to him, innit? Because they're both about similar pace. And you could see Marcus look, Martial was nowhere near him, and he held the ball up and waited, and then I think he got tackled or he went out, I can't remember. So yeah, there's that, but we do need a bit of a. Sorry, are you interested in some comments here?
I thought someone said up the Goebbels. It says up the Geordies.
Up the Geordies. Oh yeah, the Geordies.
Honestly,
the Geordies are on.
The chirpsing going on here.
Yeah, I noticed you've been getting some. I got some today because I dared to point out the fact that Michael Oliver's a Newcastle fan, because I only found out today. So I was like, how's he refereeing our games when he's a Newcastle fan? Because sure, there's a conflict of interest there. And also, he wasn't allowed to.
That's why they all support King Altrincham or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Anthony Taylor, massive Altrincham fan. Of course he is. And
the Jay Davison every week.
Every week. Can't move from down there. Loves it. Hey, loves Alty. But I was like, because he'd done this in an interview a couple of years ago. He said he couldn't referee relegation games because he's a Newcastle fan, and when Newcastle were fighting relegation,
yeah. So he's refereeing tomorrow.
Yeah, which I think, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, fair enough if you can't do that. Fair enough if you can do it across the board. You can do every game but Newcastle. But if you're saying I can't do relegation games when Newcastle up against relegation,
I don't want the pressure.
Yeah, but you can do it top four. So how come that? Because you know full well, either way, if he does a decision that's seemed favourable or unfavourable.
Jay, I've already filmed the video.
Do you know what I love about his videos, right? I love it when something happens and literally at full time your video drops. And it's a 20-minute video. It's like, yeah, boom, there you go. There's the reaction. You're like,
yeah, we've had about 3 of them at Jurgen Klopp. All you got to do is look at a fixed list and go, yeah, his melon's going to fall.
My favourite was the Forest one. I'll never forget the Forest one. I literally got full time, whistle gone. Started laughing, then notification, Stephen House dropped a video. And it was a 10-minute video. I was like, oh, hello. But yeah, Jurgen Klopp's always good box office, and he's quite reliable for you guys, isn't he? Because you can do more of that. We did a video on the fan channel about Jurgen Klopp. People say, oh, you know, get bored. Obviously, your channel's your channel, and people love that. I was really jealous of you on the Champions League final because I was tempted to do one of myself on here, but I thought I can't because it'll just be too deep. But you did it.
I think I came home from the gym for it. Because I think I watched the game in the gym and I was like, I'm going to have to go back because this is fucking hilarious.
I love it. The fume as well. Like, oh, how can you say this? You're not even in the Champions League. Care. Mate, I celebrated that goal, the Real Madrid goal, like it was a United goal. Honestly, anything that stopped them.
Anyone but Liverpool. Anyone but Liverpool.
Yeah. Are you still? You're with me, aren't you, on the league title? Are you preferring that mob, your mate's mob? Say your mate, Joel Bayer, your mate. You know what I mean? Because I
couldn't give a fuck about
Mancunian as they come.
I think Arsenal fans are so annoying that if City won, I'd be in the fucking town hall with them with a blue flag.
Really? Is it that point?
Yeah, because I don't fucking count them titles no more. Right, since we know that the books are cooked, Jay. Yeah.
See,
the books have been at gas mark 6 for fucking 25 minutes. They are fucking oven fresh.
I'm in talks with a publisher. Steve's gonna write a book called How to Handle. How to deflect after a defeat, yeah? Because Steve's a master at it, yeah? So if City win the league, you lay into Arsenal, yeah? You threw it away. Arteta's a fraud. Okay, this is your best season since 2004. Remind me, what have you won again? Now,
nothing.
Pathetic. So you've won less trophies than Manchester United. Ridiculous. Whereas if Arsenal win it, what? You say this is Pep Guardiola's the greatest manager ever. He's bought Erling Haaland and not won a league. That's what you do. That's what he does well. So I get all that. But for me, the whole 3 in a row thing will annoy me.
Jay, we don't count the title.
Okay, that's a good point.
We don't count.
I just wish they'd hurry up and do this cook. We can't just do like when we used to get nicked and they do it in the weekend. You get nicked on the Friday, you're in court on the Monday. Now it's like it's going to take years. Do you know what I mean? All right, just don't. It's like you always say with 2012. We drew the league. Just tell me I'm wrong. Look at the points. Yeah, Santa Not says, Steve's chirps in. Maybe. Abhinav Verma's got a quote from us. If you don't score goals, you don't win. Michael Owen. Yeah, it is a bit of a concern with the...
How's he never read a fucking book?
Well, that's just like the whole thing with Michael Owen as well. When he's like, I've not watched the film. And well, you have. You have watched the film. Like, why are you saying that? Like, I've not watched. Anyone who
when he was a player, he was like, I trained so hard that I never watched a book or watched the film or read a book. He'd be like, maybe. I don't believe you, but maybe. I mean, when you're travelling, you need to just do it to escape a little bit.
Yeah,
anyway.
like he's flown all over the world when he's flogging helicopters in Dubai, whatever it does, or do you know what I mean? Or, you know, when he was playing football, obviously when he was at United and that, he was.
Did he start to get finger blasted on telly?
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
Is that what happened, Ethan?
No, she was on Love Island. I don't think she won it. I can't remember. No, I don't think she did. But she was going out of right Nana, and there was this guy on it. The guys, I know you don't watch it. I don't think you understand it. And
don't watch films, but
yeah, like
she's on here. What's he doing there? Can't do that.
Yeah. The guy that she was
Family
with,
show.
Luca, that was his name. Luca, he was an
What time's it on?
Muppet. Love Island, 9 p.m.
Oh, you get a bit of
Oh, mate, it's
finger
naughty.
blasted.
They have like a little love shack where they go in and, do you know what I mean?
No, they don't. Really?
Bro, it's deep.
And people
it's
getting
deep.
the back ripped out at night.
It's deep. Like,
wow.
If your lad came to you, right, you've got a son and daughter, right? If your lad comes to you, goes, I'm going to Love Island, you're like, good lad. Yeah, good. Deals, fame. Influencer, boohoo man, charcoal toothpaste, come and see your dad's son, you buy me my retirement villa. If your daughter says it, no you're not. Let's see how far you get when I've burnt your passport, because there's no way on God's earth I'm sitting on here with people popping in the stream going, hey Jay, just see your daughter.
Wow.
And you can call me sexist, I don't care. Yeah, so his daughter did go on it, but she was respectful.
Of what?
She was a bit like him, boring.
Was it?
Yeah, just beige. Do you know what I mean? Just no real personality.
No
just
patter.
beige. No patter. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember
I can imagine he's a proper fucking...
Isn't he mate with your mates? Because your mate's mates with everyone. Rio, innit?
Yeah, he is a bit of a social connector.
Yeah, I mean, he is. And I don't know.
Like black belt level.
Yeah.
Like, not even just fucking...
Like with Scousers and City players and all sorts.
Yeah, just mooching around at the World Cup when... Oh, fuck it, I'm going to get him in trouble.
Whoa.
He was saying there was a lot of people...
Steve, as you well know, when Steve says, I have to know.
He was saying he was getting a little bit mired at the FIFA hotel. Right. So he wanted to get into the FIFA hotel.
This is real.
Fucking 5-starred up to death.
Yeah.
And then when he got there, he was like, get me out of this hotel because I can't fucking sit still. Because, like, it wasn't even, like, the public on top to do.
It was like, it really got...
I was on a sun lounger next to Arrigo Sacchi, right? And I was thinking, I would love a conversation with him, but I can't speak Italian, and I don't know if this guy can speak English. So I'm just going to give him the old nod, and he gave me the nod. And I was like, I'll do it.
Right. So, yeah, you've had a type of conversation with Arrigo Sacchi. Is he, if you could meet, is he like one of your favourite managers?
Oh, God, yeah. His team is probably one of my favourite, if not the favourite, non-United team.
Yeah, because that was the...
Back-to-back
That's Van
League.
Basten, innit? Rijkaard, Hullet.
8 Italians, 3 Dutch.
Because that was the one that turned over... Was it him that turned over Barca in 94, was it? It was the 4-0.
Yeah, I think he was still there then.
Because that was... Because you remember... Because this is what I mean, right? When people...
Cruyff got a dick in.
People always go on about...
But that was,
Fergie.
United was so far off both of those teams.
No. And like the 3 foreigner rule just killed us, because people go, oh, well, everyone had 3 foreigners. But you've got to remember that we had like... So like Barcelona, obviously, were decimated by that rule, I think, or they were affected by that rule. Milan was just... Oh, it was Capello, actually, by then. But they had just Italians. And Savajevic. Boban, yeah. So I think they only had 2.
That's 3.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, where's the way getting this? Oh, right, sorry, yeah, you're right. So they did have the 3 foreigners then.
And they had Stoichkov, Romario.
Yeah.
And it was a third one.
Koeman. but they got absolutely battered because I think that is probably actually Milan's strongest team. Milan didn't really need to change anything. Their strongest team was made up of 8 Italians and 3 foreigners.
I did have a good chat with Gary Lineker about Cruyff, just round the pool.
Can we get him then? Would I lie to you, Cats? We've been going on about because I can't cope, mate. Honestly, it's ridiculous.
It was cool. It was a cool setting. Just like you got Rio, you've got like Jermaine Jenas, who's like actually really sound.
Yeah, you're ruining that for me, you. I like. I don't like the fact that you and him are get on.
Shearer's there. There was a handful more there. Lineker's there. Basically everyone that was like Danny Murphy, like basically that entire BBC crew that went to the World Cup essentially. So Lineker's there, and I was like, I need to ask him about Cruyff. What was a training session with Cruyff? For those who don't know, Gary Lineker played for Barcelona under Johan Cruyff.
Yeah,
one of the best poaching strikers the world has ever seen. And Cruyff played him right wing.
I was going to say, you didn't like him, did he?
No, and he said
because it was Venables
on
it who bought him.
Yeah, he said lost a little bit. He said I've had so much more respect for him if he'd have come and said, look, because we only get 3 foreigners, I don't fucking want you. I want someone else.
Yeah,
I think who was in the team then? Stoichkov or Hadji?
Stoichkov. Let's have a look. When did he get to Barcelona?
Stoichkov who he wanted.
He got to Barcelona in 1990, so it would have been around that time, wouldn't it?
Maybe a bit later, but yeah, he wanted his own foreign players in rather than he didn't want Lineker. So it was like instead of just saying do one, it was like he played him out of position, almost tried to make him want to leave, rather than just say, look, I'm going to do whatever.
And also, it's difficult when you've got a player there who's banging in loads of goals like Lineker was, because then he scored like an hat-trick in El Clasico and stuff like that. And it's like, you can't just get rid of him.
He was a serious footballer, Lineker.
He was.
I can't believe he went and played in Japan. When he was like 32 when he went to Japan.
Yeah, because I remember when he finished at Japan, it was like the Premier League had started, and there was talk of him coming. I think Middlesbrough linked with him when they got, I think it was 94, and he was like, nah, he said, I'm not the player you think I am. I'm going to come to the Premier League, and like, because obviously he was getting on a bit, and he'd been around for ages and been around from an early age and in those tough leagues as well. So he wasn't up for it, but there was still like, clubs interested in him.
He was saying Cruyff in training, still the best player.
Really?
Touch like you've never seen, vision like you've never seen. This is the Rondos was just like unbelievable with him. He said he's got that pep thing where he wants to be seen as a genius to win a game, though. Like, rather than just let them play how they've been playing all season.
Yeah.
He's like, he needs to fucking tweet with it to be seen as more of a genius. He goes, and he was a genius. He goes, but he wanted to be seen as a genius on top of being a genius. So he wanted to get the credit for being a genius as well as just getting on with being one.
Yeah.
But he said, it was an impactful time. He said
Stoichkov. So he built a pretty decent team, not bad. They almost won the Cup Winners' Cup in 1991, but obviously they weren't strong enough for. I mean,
they did all right. They did with the European Cup.
Yeah, they won it. A year later, they called it. It was the first dream team, wasn't it? They won 4 league titles in a row, and also it says he was a perfectionist. It's good that though when you meet some, because I bet how often does Lineker actually get asked that
about Cruyff?
I bet he doesn't get asked it a lot. I bet most, especially not by English people. Do you know what I mean? Because I bet most English people, what was it like, banging in all the goals in 86?
I reckon he probably gets asked about Gaza.
Yeah.
The World Cup in 1990. Was it Mexico where he scored 10 goals?
86, I think he scored. No, it wasn't 10. I think it was about 6 or something. But it was he got the golden boot. Yeah. But I think he scored 10 in total, because I think he scored 4 in Italy, so it's 10 in total.
So I reckon he gets asked about that. Did he win a title with Everton?
No. He didn't. It was really weird because what he did, Lineker, he went to Everton. I think they just won a title. And he went there from Leicester, was this, obviously, absolute phenomenon. Because I think he only spent 1 season at Everton. He scored 40 goals in 57 games. And I think, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they lost the FA Cup final and finished second in the league. So it's like, obviously it's not his fault because he couldn't have done more if he tried. I mean, he scored 3 hat-tricks that season. But however, he and his colleagues were denied title glory as Liverpool won their final league game of the season at Chelsea. And then he's actually said that Everton team was the best club side he ever played in. But and they got beat in the FA Cup final. Imagine that, if you're an Evertonian. Losing the FA Cup final to Liverpool and then losing the league on the final day.
And having him come in and just shit goals.
Yeah. That is absolutely minging. It's not too bad for him, though, when you can leave Everton and go to Barcelona. Do you know what I mean?
2.8 million in 1986 is mad cash.
And
considering nearly 10 years later, 7 years later, we paid about that for Roy Keane.
When you say it like that, it's ridiculous. Mark Hughes obviously went with him as well. Didn't work out for Sparky over there, did it?
I don't know if he spoke about this on camera or if he talked about it there, but he said Hughes didn't assimilate in the slightest.
It's a good point now, because I read I think it was either an interview or he's bought one of Hughes' books, and he said Gary Lineker was great for him because him and his missus took him under their wing, and he felt like at home with them, but he didn't like it over there, and he struggled over there.
It's almost like a foreign country.
Remember Ian Rush said that about his time at Juve. What was he like? It was like a foreign country. It's because it is a foreign country, you thick. So Lineker obviously ingratiated himself. Like, I think he's still revered by the Barca fans because he just scored loads of goals.
I don't know. I think Barcelona
as you might be right,
as a club. When I saw something on Instagram the other day, and it had Terry Henry as Barcelona's striker in an all-time 11 for Barcelona, and I was like, for starters, that's fucking ridiculous that he's there, because he was shit for Barcelona.
Yeah.
Pull up Terry Henry's record at Barcelona.
Because I know before everyone gets involved, you're going to say, oh, he won the Champions League against United. Yeah, as a sub.
His record at Barcelona was nothing to write home about.
Right, so first season, 47 games, 19 goals. Second season, 42 games, 26 goals. Third season, 32 games, 4 goals. Now, for Barcelona, that doesn't make you the greatest ever.
Is that 49 goals, 3 seasons?
Yeah. So he look at what he won. He won La Liga twice. He won the Champions League, obviously, against United. But again, I think he didn't start it. It was Eto'o who started.
Right, pull up Romario's numbers.
Right.
Or even R9's numbers are better than...
Yeah, I think
he was only there a season, I think. But it was like 34 goals, 37 games, something like that R9 got. Like, there is no planet where Thierry Henry is a Barcelona all-time 11. None. No. What was Romario's?
Well, Romario, believe it or not, he's only got them 2 seasons. But his first season, it's 47 games, 32 goals. It's his second season, he's like...
18 and 7. It's still better than Thierry Henry's.
But I remember reading Bobby Robson's book. He said, because he had him at PSV, and he was saying, Romario, I couldn't control him. I couldn't get him to buckle down. He'd always go out clubbing and all that. But he said he just had this thing, he'd come in, he'd score an hat-trick. Look at his record, 30 and 30. But a lot of those, he'd score an hat-trick and have 2 games off. So he's like, I've just scored 3 goals in 3 games. What are you on about? Perfect record. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't do anything for 2 of them because you couldn't be bothered. So I think it's weird, Barcelona. Have you seen, I know you have, the Bobby Robson documentary where he was getting death threats after he won 6-1 because he's not playing the Barca way.
Yeah, and he
also
won. Did he win the Cup Winners' Cup?
He did win the Cup Winners' Cup. Good
and
knowledge.
the Copa del Rey in the same season.
Yeah, he did.
And then got sacked because he wasn't good enough.
Yeah. It's like he got moved upstairs for Louis van Gaal. Won 2 trophies, including the...
Oh, fuck this clown off.
You can go upstairs. Do a
with
bit of
R9. I know. R9.
That's so good, that. I think, mate, that's good. Different levels, but the thing is at Barca and Real Madrid, they get away with this. They have that mentality and they get away with it.
Look at the players that they've had. From Romario to Mara fucking Donna, who wasn't in the all-time Barcelona 11, by the way.
No. Well, he wasn't that great, fella. Was he there? If you look
it was Napoli that he went bananas with in Europe. Sorry,
Napoli's always a good example of why Maradona is so great, because Napoli didn't win anything. They weren't a big team in the sort of, there's probably similar levels as what before the last few seasons what they are now. But he came in there and just got them all going. And if you read his book, he said to the manager, just players that, when I pass to them, if I keep passing to a player, you keep them. If I don't pass them, you get rid of him. And the managers did what he said. Do you know what I mean? He said,
you'd have to, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he said, he just told him. Yeah, he said, the fans will tell you which players are good because they get excited when I'm, passing to him. And I passed to him, and the ones that aren't good, I don't. And he stuck with that, and then he won 2 titles in the UEFA Cup, which, and for all intents and purposes as well, Maradona was out of his head for half of it.
Yeah, can you imagine what he'd have been like sober?
He was banged out.
There's some awesome stuff with Maradona. They had a fake cock for him with clean piss in it, and he used, because he was off his nut forever.
Yeah,
he
was hanging around with the mafia and all that.
He just kept it in his pants.
Right.
So if anyone was like, piss test,
Yeah.
he'd be like, no problem, got a fake cock.
Yeah.
Bosh, have some of that.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
squeeze it and wee comes out of it.
That's sick, man. That's ledge.
But imagine that you're just doing that much packet that you think, I'm just going to have a permanent fake cock in my underpants.
Why didn't they have him for that in '94? Hey, took his out of the ball. You see when Mitten interviewed him, because you know Andy Mitten. He's Andy Mitten.
I didn't know he'd interviewed Maradona.
Yeah, he flew to when Maradona was managing somewhere.
Of course he did. Bolivia, probably.
But it was like touch and go whether he was going to get any time with him, because I think he got there and it was like, I'll have to reread the article. I think it's in The Athletic or it might be somewhere else. But if you just Google Mitten and Maradona, it'll come up. And then it was like he was waiting and waiting. And it looked at one point like it wasn't going to happen, and then he got time with him.
And then he brought 4 kilos of Bam Bam and...
Yeah, mate, imagine interviewing Maradona. Yeah, imagine going out with him. Mate, I'd be well off.
What was the World Cup where... Wasn't Russia, was it?
Was with the screen.
All the white...
Yeah, like just
over the
pure, like on the perspex. Just like, where, or the sniff there.
There's so many them things where he's playing in like friendlies and stuff like that, and he
Yeah.
scores, and then people run onto the pitch to give him a
I've
ball.
seen that. The guy with the bag.
Insane.
The guy, like, he had that little. He played like in a World 11, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he's got his mate who comes on with an absolute sack full of schnizzle and goes, "Yeah, have a bit of that," and then he just gets his head in and then runs off. It's
Imagine
is this
how
happening?
good you've got to be.
Like, honestly, he's like Eric Cantona in a sense. He's beyond football, isn't he?
Yeah.
Maradona. He's not a footballer. He's something else. Do you know what I mean? He's a god. I love him. Hit that like button. I've got a super chat. This is for you, Abdullah Ibrahim. Steve, a bit off topic, but your thoughts on? I'm going to pronounce these wrong, Steve. You know me on MMA. I don't know anything about it. Mokaev win at UFC 286 versus Filo.
Yeah, you ain't gonna make Mokaev tap. So if for those who haven't seen it, he got in I think it was a knee bar he got in, and the guys wrenched it on. I think Mokaev has said, yeah, there's about 5 or 6 cracks in there, but I ain't tapping. And then got out of it and beat him. Struggling walking for a few days. I was messaging him afterwards and was like, how's the leg? And he's like, yeah, it's pretty sore.
What's that? Message?
Like, I've told him to come in for a brew. But he's started getting into rugby league.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, at least
he
it's
does
the
a lot
right-
of training.
At least it's the right one for you then.
He does a lot of training in Wigan, which obviously is basically the epicenter of rugby league in England, isn't it? So it's not a bad spot to go and watch it. I wouldn't darken his door. I mean, he lives in Salford, but I wouldn't recommend he watches Salford.
Fair enough. Sorry, I missed this one. I'm Verma. Not surprised there is no outcry over a Newcastle fan taking charge of a top 4 rival team. Alan Shearer's a bit of a hypocrite. You're his mate, aren't you? Hey, Shearer.
I messaged him
back
actually
and
and said, do you
forth
want
on
to fucking
Twitter.
come on? And he's pied me. But yeah, every time I tweet something about Newcastle, he fucking bites like a champ.
I know he does. It's actually pretty funny. I don't want to normalise this. It is mad what goes on.
But do you know what?
Go on.
Alan Shearer, like, in real life, is actually mega.
I don't like the fact that you're mates with these people that I dislike because of their on-screen personality, and you tell me that. 'Cause I
think
trust your judgment.
there's been a
and
massive
me and you agree on a lot of
disservice done to
people. Yeah, and you'll go, and actually he's all right. And I'm like, don't tell me that. I don't want to know that. I like to have it in my head that he's not. But yeah, fair enough. What's happening with Paddock FC this weekend? Talk to me.
We've had a fucking absolute shit show of a season, haven't we?
Is there still anything to play for in terms of
Pride, Jay.
pride?
which is
Okay,
enough.
it's a good thing.
Pride.
Pride comes before the fall.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't announced it. I'll give the viewers a little treat for
Go
it. We haven't announced it yet, but it's basically official. Ash Williams is coming on board as sporting director.
I worry.
Why?
Because I'm going to choose my words carefully here. I think you and him together as a coaching team, if I was in that team, I better bring my A game. That's all I'm going to say.
I've got this reputation as being like proper, but I'm not.
No, you're not.
I'm very calm.
You have your moments, but you are generally relatively calm. But from what I gather, he's not quite
Ash
as calm.
Isn't quite calm, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's going to be sporting director. He was probably for the last couple of months we've been talking about him coming on board as an academy director. As of June, the football club's going to have a full stack from under 8s right the way through to under 16, 18, 21.
Really good.
Into the reserves and first team. And Ash was going to kind of be responsible for that. So for those that aren't aware of his entire background, at 16, West Brom binned him.
Right.
And instead of just calling it a day or whatever, or going joining another academy team at 16, which a lot of people would have done, He went and played non-league football.
Yeah.
As a 16, 17, 18-year-old, and I think he moved, I don't know where Stockport were, they might have been in the conference.
No, I remember, yeah.
Moved to Stockport, got promoted with them, moved to Swansea, and it was like League 2 or League 1, came all the way to the Prem with them, obviously signed for Everton, Stoke, Bristol, obviously played in the Euros in that hyper-successful Welsh team.
Yeah.
So if us as a football club want to exist as a middle-of-the-road sort of non-league team, when we're trying to talk to kids that have been released from academies, who better than Ash to be like, non-league football's the one to get you your jump start back into the game. So we was talking about him for a long time, coming and doing academy director, but he's flipped it because he wants to work alongside the first team. So that should be happening pretty much immediate effect. And it should be quite exciting.
Abhinav Verma says Paddock got a sporting director before United. Disgraceful. he makes a good point. To be fair, Abhinav, you do, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. They did.
Oh, we're better run.
Yeah.
I'm fan-owned.
Do you know what I mean? So, fair play. Yeah, go and check out Stretford Paddock FC. You know where to find. And go and check out, what have you got up on your channel?
What do we do today? Me and Ronnie did an argument where it was Weghorst versus Martial, and Ronnie stitched himself up with what he wanted to title it as, like, why Martial why you'll never see Weghorst play over Martial. And I was like, well, basically you will, because Martial's going to get injured again.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, yeah, no, there's no argument that like Martial's a more gifted footballer, obviously, but you're right. Go and check it out then, because it sounds like a good one. It was like watching you, Ronnie, argue. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Big thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this podcast. We'll be back tomorrow. You've got Joe Smith and his merry band of whoever on the watch along. Do you know who's on the watch along, Ethan? Producer Ethan says no, so thanks for that. But I'm sure it'll be fantastic as well, and you'll have all the reactions from the usual suspects as well. So that's been Stephen Howson. I've been Jay Motty. This has been The Brew. Thanks for watching.